Hey y'all, I'm gonna change formats a bit and just go on a bit of a rant. I've been reading a lot of Agatha Christie lately, and it's clicked about what bothered me so much about Mary Poppins Returns. Most importantly, this, while it claims to be, is not a period piece. There are several items that are just so foreign to 1930 Britain that it breaks the immersion. The first item is class. Class was extremely important to that era. Again, read any Agatha Christie books, and romance is all about his station or her station. A wealthy person, like Jane, would be expected to marry a doctor, a lawyer, or even a politician or a lord, because she's a member of the leisure class, a multi-generational wealthy individual. If she had fallen in love with a lamplighter, it would have been a scandal. While it's all right for Mary Poppins, who's an angelic or magical character, to support this, there should have been some sort of commentary. To give a comparison, this would have been like including a homosexual relationship in a Puritan village in the 1700s and have it go without comment. You need to include the attitudes of the time period, not just the aesthetics. Secondly, income. Agatha Christie was actually living in the 1930s, and she wrote most of her books during that time frame. During this time, income did not mean a salary that you got for working. That was referred to as a salary. Income was money that is earned from dividends on investments. This is so common among the leisure class that it takes a while for a modern reader to understand what Miss Christie is referring to when she's talking about income, which just brings back home the problems with the primary plot of the movie. As the children of very wealthy bankers, multi-generation, remember, George Banks worked for the Dawes, as did his father before him, they would have had a substantial amount of money set aside. You have to explain where this money went. It would not just be this one set of shares in the bank. They would have had a substantial amount, and they would have been expected to live off that amount. Even if Michael did not have a career, that would have provided an income. Now, it could be explained as they lost most of it during the slump, but you need to explain this. This just gets back to the problem I have with this being a period piece. There are certain parts of a period piece you can omit, like everyone should have been smoking like chimneys. But you can't have a so-called period piece and ignore major parts of the story, like having a modern abolitionist in ancient Rome. It just wouldn't work. The immersion is broken. I don't like the suspension of disbelief wording. I prefer using immersion. You have to believe that you're in the time frame. And one common problem is injecting modern sensibilities into these time frames that they really should not be there. It's just so frustrating. The original Mary Poppins was a lovely, wonderful period piece where the problems of the Edwardian mindset were shown and explained because of how Mr. Banks acted. And especially in his conversation with Bert towards the end, you see this is a problem, but the people discuss it in a realistic way. yes, it'd be okay to have these modern sensibilities, but you have to address the time period as well. So that's my rant. It's frustrating because they did so much on this to make it look like the 30s. It's frustrating that they omitted writing the story to actually be in the 30s. Thanks for listening, y'all.